Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another Market Open stream today. Let's talk about this Bitcoin trend that has been bullish for 11 years. Which trend is this? I'm going to talk about it and talk about everything else that's bullish with Bitcoin and crypto today. Let's do this. Welcome, guys. The market bell right there has just rung, and Bitcoin, man, this bell, there we go, still working, still strong. Today's looking pretty good for Bitcoin, although I've been saying this, nothing really has changed other than Bitcoin is moving upwards. Slowly but surely, yes, it's going upwards. Yesterday, it retested this about 36.8 once again. Now we're back up to 37.4, looking good once again. This time around, are we going to break to the upper side here? Are we going to break through 38.4, which is only 1,000 points away? It's really not that far off, but are we going to break through and make a new high for this year? Well, let's talk about this bullish trend. Maybe. Let's see. The U.S. market today opens in mixed territory. All right, kind of mixed. Recently, it's been mixed. But I did notice that Coinbase is not mixed. Coinbase, everyone's talking about now. I've been talking about Coinbase forever. But Coinbase makes a new 52-week high. It just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. Right? But here's the good thing. Just like Bitcoin, even though it's up, it's not back to its previous high. When Coinbase IPO'd, they were like, whew, up here, about 250s. So they're still down 50% despite the rally for this year. So just like Bitcoin, there's definitely an opportunity there. If you are an equities investor, the only one, no, I take that back, because there's Grayscale and then there's MicroStrategy. But really, the most bullish one for me, I would say, that relates to crypto definitely has to be Coinbase. They are just on fire right now. All right, what else is on fire? Of course, that's based on yesterday's article. I got another article today to share with you guys too. All right, so what's this bullish trend that's been happening for 11 years? Well, it's the very first halving event. Today is like the anniversary of it. I don't know why it's a little bit earlier than normal, but 11th anniversary where Bitcoin went from $12 to $37,000. But of course, Bitcoin was even higher than $37,000, but we'll take it. This is what it looks like. Okay, the very first halving event, we were, or at least the miners, was mining 50 Bitcoin per block every 10 minutes. And in 2012, it got cut down in half. That's why it's called a halving, to 25. And the price on the halving day was only $12. But 150 days later, it went up tenfold to $127. That's huge. 2016, we had the same thing happen. 25 Bitcoin down to 12.5. The price appreciation, 650 to 758. Of course, that is not 10x, but it didn't end there. 2016, Bitcoin went all the way up to $20,000 by the end of 2017. And then the last halving that we had in 2020, it was a rough start because of COVID. But again, we had the block halving, and then we went from 8,800 to 11,150 days ago. And then we eventually ended 2021 at $69,000. Okay, so that is what we have to look forward to. What will be the price of Bitcoin on halving day, April of 2024? Are we going to be at 45,000, 50,000, 55,000? And then where will we be at 150 days later? Maybe 70. Maybe we break through 80, 90, 100. And where will Bitcoin be by the end of 2025? 200, 250, 300,000. If we're using history, okay, it's going to be good. It's going to be bullish, just like the 3 previous halving events that we had, okay? And here. So in case you still don't understand, this is what it looks like. We went from 50 Bitcoins mined per block to 25 to 12.5 to 6.25, that's where we are now. And it will go down to 3.125, and then it'll go down to 1.6, and then it'll go down to 0.8, and then eventually the rewards are so little, they're so insignificant, and basically that's it. Basically that's it. So as you can see, there's just not many Bitcoins left. What exists is basically what exists, all the new future ones. There's just not that many, and the miners are holding them. They're holding all of them. So it's just really a simple case of supply and demand. How can you trust Bitcoin not to go up when the demand keeps on going up? We know that. Demand keeps going up, especially from the institutional side this time, and supply keeps going down. I mean, it's just that simple, okay? So this is a prediction of where Bitcoin will be by the halving event, okay? Somewhere around there. If you're using the same kind of descending trend line, about 8%. So looking at about April of 2024, this is assuming, again, that we don't get a spot ETF approval. If we do, then all bets are off. I mean, we could go way higher than that. But even without it, just according to what has happened before, we should be around anywhere from 42 to 48,000. So that's still, we're still a little bit off from there, right? 5,000 to 10,000 off. So it could be a slow, gradual trend. Maybe a little volatility, but eventually we get there. But if we get a spot Bitcoin approval, then all bets are off, and we could shoot right up to 48,000 in no time. And maybe we then take a little bit of a break, we trace a little bit, and then we just continue higher, right? But it's going to be no different this time around. So those of you guys that are still worried about short-term volatility, just know that Bitcoin has been on pretty much a bull run since the beginning, since its inception back in 2009. It hasn't really stopped. Yes, there's blips and dips and crypto winters throughout, but in the end, if you look at it, it's just been going like this bullish trend for the past 11, 12, 13 years, right? So next up, 48,000, kind of like what this says. A lot of people think 48,000 is right around the corner, especially with, look at Crypto Frank, 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, Frank. 48,000 right around the corner, right? And it seems so silly. It seems like 48,000 seems like such a large number. But I think a lot of you guys forgot about 2021. I remember the days we were hovering 40s, 50s. I remember I made a car video about a Mach-E, the Ford Mach-E. And I said, would you rather buy a Mach-E or buy one Bitcoin? Because at the time, it was like they're both around like $50,000, right? So even though 48,000 seems like it's a far-fetched price, it's not. We have seen that before. We held in the 50s for a long time. Only the 60s were actually, we were there for a shorter time, but still, this is not fantasy world. We will get up to 40s. We will get into 50s. We will get into 60s again. And after we break 69,000, that's when all bets are off. And we don't know where that parabolic rise is going to bring us. Okay? I do know it's going to be a lot higher than where we were. And a lot higher than where we are now, for sure. Right? Couple other things. If you're looking at this ascending triangle continuation pattern, well, this is pretty textbook. If you look at the left side, you look at where we are now, we're bouncing off a little bit, right? And that trend continuation, probably around the corner. It could even happen today as Bitcoin is trending upwards. Are we going to break through and break to the upper side? It's anyone's guess, but if it's going to happen, It's going to happen. It's really that simple. Supply and profit, 83.6% above the historical 74%. So what does that mean? Fantastic. Most of you guys are in a profit. Why would you not be happy about that? If you're a Bitcoin holder, especially one that's been DCA, you are for sure 100% in the green. If you didn't DCA and you bought at the absolute top at 69,000, well, then you have a little while to wait, but eventually you'll be in the green. Eventually, everyone, 100%, will be in profit as we break through and form a new high. But even now, I mean, just think about it. Even now, Bitcoin is half of where it was before, okay? Well, a little bit more than half, but still, you get the picture. We're half, yet already 84% are in profit. You think about that. That shows you how strong the holders are and how smart they are by continuing to DCA throughout crypto winter. That's the right way to do it, right? And that's why so many are in the green. Now, lastly, let's look at this. The monthly returns. Okay, monthly returns, this goes all the way back. Now, we broke a trend, actually, if you think about it. If we're about to end November in green, we got a couple of days, and I do think we're going to end in green unless we somehow break downwards. But we broke a trend, and what is that trend? If you look at the last halving event, that's in 2020, we had October and November and December all very, very green, right? But that was a halving year. So you go back, you have to go back to 2019, the year before the halving year. And you could see that year was actually horrible for Bitcoin. From July, August, September, all down. October, you had a decent green month. And then you had a horrible November and a horrible December. But you look at right now, September was green, October is green, November is green. Are we going to get a green December? We haven't seen this kind of rally since 2020, or you could go back and say since 2017. 2017 was also a rally year. But if you look at 2016, I guess we're mimicking that. If you look at 2016, we had a pretty good September. A pretty good October, not as good as our October this year. Decent November, and then we ended December at a plus 30.8%. That's back in 2016. So we are mimicking 2016. 2016 to 2017, they were good years. So does that mean we're going to end this year similarly to 2016, and we may get a 30% bump? That would be fantastic. 30% bump from where we are. That's pushing us to mid-40s. We may end the year at $45,000, $48,000 if this trend continues. 2023 has been a pretty good year if you think about it. We came up really quick, big recovery, institutional interest. I mean, so far this year is not bad. Not bad at all. All right, what else is there? I saw something about Animoca, which is a huge company in Hong Kong focused on NFTs primarily, but they're into gaming, they're into a lot of things, investing, and they have become the largest validator for Ton blockchain. It's interesting because Ton is really about, their whole ecosystem is about bringing dApps to Telegram. And Animoca thinks that that's very interesting. Telegram is absolutely a huge messaging service, right? It's kind of like Telegram versus WhatsApp. It's just like kind of the two, right? But Elon has something to say about that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people are coming into Ton thinking that games and Web3 applications, dApps, will be built within Telegram. Why not? Because there's so many people already using it. It's smart. It's smart. So that's a big endorsement for Ton. And then what else is there? Elon, I said, he may have something to say about that because he secures a new payment license in South Dakota. So now that brings him really, really close to be able to launch his payment service within X. And I don't know what that really means, but it seems like he wants to make X the new PayPal. He wants to he wants to destroy PayPal. He wants to create something that's even better. Okay. What I'm more focused on, more interested in is what is he going to do with payments in terms of crypto? Is he going to allow crypto payments? Is he going to allow a crypto wallet to exist on X, right? That's what Doge holders want to know. 5 million addresses with balance on Doge. A new high. It's quite interesting. I don't hear anyone, not one person ask me about Doge, yet the address count is skyrocketing right now. I mean, just look at that. It's hard to see, but I mean, it's let me see if I can zoom in here. I mean, it's skyrocketing right now. So I'm assuming it's just because so many people are anticipating that something big is going to happen with Doge, primarily because of what's going to happen with X. Is Elon going to introduce a crypto wallet? Is he going to make Doge a preferred payment within X? We don't know. It's all speculation right now. Maybe he'll open up. You can buy Cybertrucks with Doge. That would be huge. Huge. And then lastly, yesterday I covered this. You know, Charles Hoskinson was very, very angry at the SEC and decided to attack Bitcoin. Like I said, if you want to make your argument about anything, do so without attacking anyone else. That's the best way to do it. But Charles, in his frustration, just went after Bitcoin maxis, Bitcoin in general, like saying, you know, everything about Bitcoin is not decentralized. And Cardano is more decentralized, and Cardano is not a security, right? And then Adam shot back, and he makes a lot of good arguments. And he responds, hey, Charles, it's very simple. Bitcoin did not have ICO. Most people thought it had no value. It was mined from zero. Those are all true, okay? It is decentralized. There's no CEO. ICO war-chested foundation. He threw that out there because the Cardano Foundation, IOHK, and Emergo, they all came out from the ICO that Cardano did. Incorporation, etc. So Cardano, ETH, etc. clearly pass Howey. Bitcoin is a commodity and does not. Now, Charles responds saying, there was no Cardano ICO. There was an airdrop onto a distribution, and then thousands who never met each other traded ADA on exchanges and used Cardano for a project. However, here's the thing. A voucher sale of a different asset outside the United States, priced in yen, settled in Bitcoin, explained in Japanese to Japanese citizens, and without a single U.S. participant does not constitute an ICO of ADA. See, now we're getting the semantics here because Cardano did have ICO in Japan. Now, you could say it was a different asset and it was airdropped, whatever, but they did. And Cardano wasn't mined, right? It was created. So Adam goes on and says, well, I think you have legal advice not to say certain things, so you are at a slight disadvantage, but an airdrop and a pre-mined and some market making is still an ICO, plus obvious management team reliance for expectation of profit. Okay, and then Charles, again, semantics, so airdrop is not an ICO, even though the SEC has left that ambiguous, right? So, you know, this is what happens when you attack Bitcoin. You really can't, because Bitcoin did all the right things, and even though Charles is saying and doing all the right things, but, you know, you can't ignore history. Cardano did have ICO in Japan, even though maybe it was hidden and not well known, but that's how Emergo, IOHK, and Cardano Foundation came out. So, yeah. So he messed with the wrong person, I guess, or messed with the wrong group. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Today, overall market cap up slightly. We got a good recovery today. Let's see. Let's bring these back. We got 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. All green today. All green today. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Coinbase stock's just going crazy. Nada Min says we're all communists. Patrick, a new member. And then look at their DCA, dating communists also. Sorry, couldn't resist the reference to yesterday's show. It was so ridiculous. Yesterday I brought up an article saying the number one reason why men, number one reason that turns off men when dating, something like that. And the number one answer was the person they're dating is a communist. Like, where did that come from? I don't know where that came from. Anyways, I did see this other article that's more relevant on CNBC. Can money buy happiness? 60% of Americans say yes, and the price tag is $1.2 million, according to a recent financial happiness report. Who creates this recent financial happiness report? Like, what is that? I don't know. There actually is a happiness report. With record high credit card debt, declining personal savings rate, and more than half of adults living paycheck to paycheck, Americans now say they would need to earn $284,167 a year to be happy. You know, the problem with this is most Americans fall into this trap. And that trap is to always spend as much as you earn. Okay, I was in this trap before. Right? Basically, you could start out of college making $50,000 a year. And then after a few years, you're up to $80,000 a year. What do? You buy a fancier car and you upgrade your condo into an apartment or a townhouse. Then you get a promotion or a bonus. Now you're at like 100, 120. What do? Now you drive a BMW or a Mercedes or a Tesla and you move into a house. Right? Now, let's say a few years later, you're bumped up to 200, 250,000 like this, 284,000 a year. What do? You take more vacations. Now you buy more expensive cars. Right? This is what people do. It's not really, yes, making a good amount per year is important. But what's more important is how much of that can you save? That's the thing. Americans are trained to spend. Spend, 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 and spend some more. Okay? That's why as a nation, we don't have a problem with deflation. Like Asian countries, like Japan and China, they suffer from deflation because the culture is different. The parents teach, don't spend, save. But I argue if you save, you don't become wealthy by saving either. But with Western culture, with Americans especially, because I fell into this trap. I think almost everyone I know is in this trap. Like, the more you make, the more you spend. You go buy nicer things. You go buy luxury cars and watches and take, more vacations or whatever. Buy more things on Black Friday and start drinking Starbucks every day and start eating out every day even though you're working, right? Things like that. How many streaming services can I subscribe to? 10? It just adds up. So that's why there are so many people living paycheck to paycheck, even though they may be making $100, $150, $200, $300,000 a year. So the key is to spend beneath your earnings, okay? And with that money saved, you go invest. That's what you got to do. You have to invest that savings. If you simply just save, okay, but that money will devalue and debase itself over time due to inflation. So that's not the right case too. So you want to take that savings and invest and utilize the compounding interest, right? And the compounded returns. That's how you get up to 1.2 million and beyond. That's how you attain financial freedom or life-changing wealth. Not simply from making more money or saving more money. You have to invest that money. That's how you do it. Just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. People don't realize how expensive it is to eat out every day and buy coffee every day. Like, it adds up to thousands per month and tens of thousands per year that you could be putting into, say, Bitcoin or Solana or whatever, Avalanche or Ton or Polygon, right? I mean, there's a lot of great crypto that can make a lot of people a lot of money, but you got to have the money to be able to buy them in the first place. All right, sorry, I went on a rant, but I think that's important to say. Demi Geek says, I have a friend who has a good job, earns loads more than me, but he's always saying he's skint. I think you meant like broke or something. Lifestyle inflation will bite you. That is true. You upgrade from... I'm not going to repeat that on my hero, but that's... I'm sure some people do. Stop it. Yes, you could even buy Litecoin. That would be better than Disney Plus. I can't disagree with that. Yes. All the streaming services that seem cheap, $8, $10, $12, you add 6 or 7 of them, you know, you're looking at $100 a month, right? Do you really watch all of them? You know, maybe you only watch 2 of them regularly. Cancel out the others. You could save a few thousand per year. You know, all these little stuff, I hate. I mean, trust me, I'm not a penny pincher. I've never been frugal, okay? But still, at some point, you got to realize, like, if you're just, like, wasting a whole bunch of money every single day or every single week, every single month, at some point, you're like, you know what? It's just not smart. You don't have to penny pinch, but, like, you don't have to just blow away all of your money. Oh, skint is a British slang meaning broke or polo. I don't even know what polo mint means, but I know what broke means. You are Johnny Sins. Very different. I'm very different from Johnny Sins. Is this the new Graham Stephan show? You know, I applaud Graham Stephan. He does a lot of good financial education. I mean, it's just, you know, some of it just seems like it should be basic knowledge. But most people growing up just never had financial literacy, and it's never too late to learn. The hardest thing is to actually change, right? That's the hardest thing. You may know it. You could say, yeah, I know all this stuff, but are you going to change? You know, that's the thing. I mean, just look at Starbucks. There's no Starbucks that you could go to without like 6 cars waiting in the drive-thru. And you go inside, you're never in an empty Starbucks. No matter what hour of any day, there's always a line inside Starbucks, right? And I mean, that just goes to show you every coffee is above $4 at Starbucks. You're talking about $5 after tax, whatever. 460, 480, 520, $6. Like, and there's many people that throughout the day get 2 or 3 Starbucks. And then you compound that with, say, lunch, which is at least $10 these days. It's probably more like $15 to $20. So you're talking about like $50 just in food alone per day, you know. It adds up. Now, if you can afford it, great. But if you're trying to attain financial freedom and build up to over $1 million of liquid cash, well, save that money and invest with it. $1.2 million could retire anyone. Okay, don't kid yourself. There's a lot of people that say, well, 1.2 is nothing, but yet they're sitting home, you know, making $50K a year. Okay, if you have 1.2 million and you invest it wisely, you're set. Even from the interest, you can not. I take that back. If you have 1.2 million and you live frugally, okay, you can live forever with that. Most people, even if they make 250, they'll say, oh yeah, I make 1.2 in 5 years. But the problem is most people spend it all before that 5 years. That's why again, going back, why so many people have this problem of living paycheck to paycheck. They up their spending, right? But if you have 1.2 million in cash sitting in your bank account and you're still making money, that's enough to live off of forever if you're frugal and you invest wisely. So it's enough. It's enough. Now, if you blow it into, you put it all into, I don't know, a couple Lambos and something and blow it all away, well, then that's a different story. Let's see here. My leverage plays on BingX here. Still doing pretty good. Yesterday, Matic fell into red. Avalanche fell into red a little bit, but Bitcoin is still up about 70%. Solana is still up about 50. ADA up 50. So still looking pretty good. But the Matic is really slow, and so is Avalanche. I feel like I should put it into something else. I might just close this. I'm going to close the Avalanche one right now. So I recovered a little bit. What's a good play for today? What's a good play? People asked me about Super yesterday. Celestia is pumping. God, Pith is pumping. Rune is pumping. Well, the problem is you don't want to get into something that's pumping. What's the worst? Luna Classic, ARC. Injective is down. Injective is down huge. Vet is down a little bit. Atom. What's going on with Atom? Too bad I can't buy Coinbase stock on here. That would be good. What is going on with Atom? Let's see here. Atom, 1 hour, still looking good. 4 hours is looking, I don't know why this is so slow. It's looking good. 15 minutes. Okay. Spell. High volume on some exchanges. I don't know what spell is. Maybe I do. It sounds familiar. Is it the Abracadabra one? Yeah, it is. Yeah, no. Stay far away from it. I was into like these like, you know, these crazy things like Wonderland and Abracadabra and all those things and just no, you don't want to fall into those traps. Nick says picking up escorts in a Lambo while drinking expensive Starbucks equals not frugal. Well, yeah, you get it. You get my point now. I mean, you could blow away 1.2 million like it's nothing, but if you're being frugal, it could last you forever. Don't try to tip cops. That's good advice. Um, what's down today? I was just looking at Cosmos. Cosmos could be a good buy right now. Caspa is still going hot. Caspa's really hot. I found a project that's related to Caspa. They're like very, very small micro cap. I'm going to do more research into them, but they seem kind of legit. Kind of. I don't know if they are exactly. Say is up big today. They actually launched at the worst time ever. That's why they're down here. If they launch at a better time, they would be much higher. Pat, I made you up my tier. With yields, NMCT says with yields from staking 1.2 million, you can get 100K a year between ETH, Atom, Sol, and other big caps. Yes, you could be a little bit more conservative too. I mean, you could buy some dividend stocks. You can, you could put some into, I don't know, treasury bills, even though they suck, right? But you gotta be conservative and make a good 80, 100, 120 a year from that 1.2 million a year. And then again, if you live frugally, that's fine. You can live off of that. But if you're still making money on top of that, that's even better. Today we're doing pretty good. I'm trying to find a good one to enter into. It's either maybe Ton because of the Animoca relationship I just talked about, or maybe just more Bitcoin. XRP is still slow. Doge is breaking out. Yeah, that's kind of true. I think everyone's waiting for this. Can you even leverage Doge? Oh, you can. It's stupid to leverage Doge. Yeah, it's too high on the 15-minute. And pretty high on the 1 hour. What other memes are here? Orty, rats, Sheeb. Sheeb just does not have any momentum. It just can't really break out. 5 minutes actually looks pretty good for Sheeb. 15 minutes, yeah, that's not looking good. Whatever. I'm just gonna do a little Sheeb for fun. Let's do. I only got $100, $125. Let's do 20x leverage. Oops. There we go. All right, let's see how this sheep. Oh shoot, I should adjust it down to 10x. We'll see. SHIB has been very, very stagnant. Just like almost too stagnant. Like all these other memes are starting to go up. Like I talked about Grok and others. I'm surprised that SHIB just has not moved at all. I don't know what's going on with SHIB, to be honest. Bit curious mom. Is 50% pullback coming? No. Where did you get that? Why do you think there's a 50% pullback coming? T-Lock says, sold my Dodge Viper in 2018 for crypto. Best financial decision all of time. I mean, yeah, if you got in at 2018, man, you sold your Viper and went all in. I mean, you probably pulled, what, 60, 70,000 from your Viper, maybe more, depending on which one. And you put it in 2018 at a low point. I mean, you're up. You could buy 10 Vipers now, at least, if not more. That was a good call. That was a very good call. Too bad my camera's kind of blocking this. Congrats, T-Lock. You made 1.2 million. Then, according to 60% Americans, you have bought happiness. Yeah. Pat says Echelon Prime could be a good gaming coin. Wonder what your thoughts, first glance. Let's look at it. Man, that is not a small. That's not a small cap already. It's 214 million, pretty big. Listed on Coinbase already. Wow, that's impressive too. Let's take a look. Powering parallel TCG and beyond. I don't know what that means. Parallel. What is parallel? The game, right? It's a card-based game, it looks like. Advancing Web3 with frictionless and compelling Prime token. Okay, doesn't really explain how. And what is this game? Okay, this is horrible marketing. I'm on here. I have no idea what game this is. Or is it a gaming platform? I have no idea what this is at all. A gaming system powering parallel TCG and beyond with Prime. What's parallel TCG? It's a sci-fi world and card game. Why? So it's a platform for a card game that they created? I don't get it. Why not just talk about this? Or is this a separate company? Well, they're going to be on Epic Games. But is parallel? Okay, so they just made this so confusing. They just made this so confusing. Why not just call the project Parallel that has Prime token? Why is there another like layer to it? This is like their DAO or their foundation. What about just the Prime token? Oh, this is the Prime token. Okay. Anyway, that's confusing as hell. But if you're looking at just Parallel, I guess, I mean, the fact they're going to be on Epic Games, it's going to be good. Let's see. Beta access. So it's a card game. But I'm not really into card games. I want AAA games, not card games. But it could do very well because it's going to be in Epic Games. Okay, that's my first glance opinion. But they're doing well. They're at all-time high. They're at all-time high right now, too. Doesn't look like a first-person shooter. It looks like it's a card game. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, Bitcoin is doing well today. Coinbase stock doing very well today, as expected. Bitcoin has been on an 11-year bull trend from the very first halving till now, and I don't think that's going to stop. All right, guys, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.